Hi, Tony Zito and Paul Tosello here again with another great video. Today we're going to talk about, do I need to work with an agent to buy a Colleyville home? Paul, that's a question I'll pose, so why don't you just take it from there and maybe answer that question, give some benefits of working with an agent.
Well, hello, Tony. Thanks again for having me, and that's a good question. And can they buy a home in Colleyville, Texas without an agent? Yeah. Can they buy a home in Colleyville, Texas and buy it, as I like to call it, right? Well, I suppose they can, but people also win the lottery, don't they?
Yeah, some people do.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's harder to buy right. There's definitely a learning curve in buying property right here in Colleyville in North Texas.
So talk a little bit about the learning curve, Paul, because I think a lot of times people, especially when they first start getting into it, they don't realize that there is a learning curve. But you and I have been around real estate long enough to know that it is. So if you would, spend a little time and just kind of break that down for us.
No, I certainly will. And let's look at the demographic, because this isn't their first time of buying a home. If they're buying in Colleyville, Tony, they're pros. They're probably buying somewhere between their fourth and seventh home. They're experienced. Okay. Now, but here's the key. And if they only hear one thing, let's hear this. The challenges that I'm going to be discussing with buying it right in Colleyville versus trying to buying it right on your own, those challenges don't go away with how many times I bought a home in another part of the country. The challenges don't go away with how many homes I bought in a different price range or how many homes I bought in the real estate boom days. The challenges we're going to talk about to buying right or buying it on your own and trying to buy right don't go away with buying, 4 through 10 homes. They're experienced, but these challenges are a little bit different.
Okay. What would some of those be? I mean, what would be some of the challenges and maybe the goal? What to keep in mind?
Yeah, no, that's right. And here's the situation. Let's remember our goal first. You want to buy right. And buying right means enjoying the home, having a maximum appreciation chance, but being able to sell it well.
Correct.
Because we bought it well, right?
Right.
To buy a home here at or below market value is to protect your investment. Mm-hmm. And you can't just count on that happening in North Texas because appreciation hasn't occurred here. As a whole, as a general rule, it hadn't happened. So here's the question. How does a person without tons of experience in Colleyville, in North Texas, buy something and determine what its true value is? I'm not talking about market value. I'm not talking about tax value or emotional value. How does that person determine what the true value is? See, because real estate has changed, and it's changed for some time to come, hasn't it? I mean, right. Just because a home has lost 5, 10, 15, 20% of its value, maybe here in Colleyville in some instances, doesn't mean you're getting a steal. Okay? If people are dropping prices, it's because they can't get the top price. They're bringing it down because they're trying to find value. So, what I would say is you've got to know the difference between the real and the true value of a home to protect yourself now in Texas for some time to come. So I would say go back and watch that first video we did on buying right. That's key. All right? That's always where's the foundation? That's foundation. Okay? And one thing to remember about North Texas real estate is if you don't know value, this is the most important thing. If you don't know value, you don't know anything yet. That's why that video is foundation. And another challenge might be not just value, Tony, but how about this? If I'm buying on my own, how do I get to this good deal before another buyer beats me to it? Because remember, 99% of your buyers are working with agents that are their deputy dogs out there finding those properties immediately. How are you going to beat them there? Right?
Exactly.
And so you have to ask yourself, how are they looking for homes? Are they driving around? Because what about the sellers who don't want signs in their yard? You know what? They may have driven by the house today. Perfect home for them, and they didn't even know about it. Right?
And that's a big point, Paul, because as you know, a lot of sellers don't want the neighbors to know they're selling. So there's no sign. Maybe no, I mean, I know there's some, for sale by owner sites or whatever, but they don't have all the properties on them. They don't even have a fraction of them on them. So that could be a huge challenge.
Yeah. And what about, can they get past all their subdivisions, and the streets in those subdivisions to catch that home that's a good deal, priced right and shows well, because it won't last.
Right.
Or maybe they say, hey, Paul, I'm going to buy it on my own and I'm looking on the internet. Well, the internet's an excellent tool. We all know that. But the fact of the matter is, just 2 days ago, I got a call from a buyer, and here's what she said. This is a quote. Paul, I found some homes that I liked online, but by the time I got there, they were gone, and I'm frustrated. Can you help me?
Wow.
So the internet's a great tool, but I'm saying to you this. Homes that are at the right price and at their true value and show well, they may not make it. Okay? And the other thing that, another challenge that people have when they're looking to buy homes on their own is maybe they're shopping for sale by owners. Well, Tony, are for sale by owners motivation usually high or low?
My experience has been very low, very overpriced.
Yeah.
They want $20,000 more than it's worth because they put in all 100-watt bulbs and no other reason.
Can't do that to me. I'm trying to focus. That's pretty good, actually, Tony. But you're exactly right. Most, not all, are not in a hurry. So the lower the motivation, the higher the what?
Price.
The price. Yeah, exactly. So, and you make them a good offer, legitimately a good offer, but they have nobody like an agent to go prove it to them that it's a good offer.
Right.
Okay? And they're not going to listen to you, the buyer, because you, after all, you just want to steal my house.
Right.
So you know more, you as the buyer know more than them about value because you're out looking at homes, but they're not going to listen to you. So Tony, it goes on and on. There's more challenges. Yes, they can buy a home. But I'm called out to these homes many, many times for people who now want to sell in Colleyville. And the fact of the matter is they're not happy with the price. They're trying to scrape out the last $25,000, $50,000 because they're not happy. And a lot of that can be traced to not buying it right.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
You know what? Use a good agent. You're not even paying the commission. This is a no-brainer. Okay? Don't try to cut corners. You'll pay for it later. Do it right. Buy it right. Because there's no free what out there, Tony? Lunches. Lunches is the right answer.
Yeah, or anything. I mean,
yeah, there's nothing free. So call the Tosello team for a time to meet and discuss buying your home in Colleyville the right way. We've got, I don't know, Colleen and I have somewhere around 2,000 home sales now. We've been living and working in Colleyville since '93. We can protect your family's pocketbook and investment. How's that?
And you do have their best interest at heart. I mean, why wouldn't you? That's one of the things I've never been able to understand about home buyers, especially, well, all of them, not just people starting off, but man, use the Tosello team, use these people because they've been in the business so long. They know the ropes. It makes no sense not to, in my opinion.
Well, I appreciate that, Tony. We're certainly willing to sit down and listen and communicate and find out what we need to do to help them. Call us, ToselloTeam.com or 817-656-3519.
All right, Paul, great information again, and we'll be back soon with more great videos. Thanks so much for watching.